So, what is it that makes us who we are? Is it our hormones, our past experiences, or are we just born this way? Well, to be honest, it's probably a mixture of all of these. But there's something else to it. Something that has been probably shaping who we are from the day we were born. Our bodies are covered inside out, head to toe, with tiny little organisms, millions and millions of them. Let's zoom in on these ones specifically, the ones that have taken your intestines as their homes. Well, actually, your gut is filled with at least 1,000 different types of bacteria and more than 7,000 different subtypes. But don't worry though, they're not all harmful to you. They can help you regulate your immune system, digest food that you cannot digest, and probably make you feel better. But we'll be talking about that later. I like to think of your intestines as a war zone. See these millions and millions of bacteria living in there? Well, each colony or family of bacteria wants to eradicate the other for the sake of inhabiting you. And just like battles in real life, outside sources can tip the scale towards a certain side. How many of you have been depressed before? Or felt anxious? Or have known someone who has suffered from severe depression? I want you to take a moment and think about what kind of diet you or they have had during that period. You're probably thinking of comfort food, food that is high in simple carbs, fats, no nutritional value whatsoever, and probably no fiber. Have you ever thought that this might be contributing to your symptoms? I know what you guys are thinking. Of course it does. We've seen the patterns. Whenever we're feeling sad or bad, we just eat a piece of cake, or another piece of cake, and another. But honestly now, who eats one piece of cake? Then we end up feeling even worse. But why is that? To understand this, we're going to have to zoom in even further. Who hasn't heard this before? The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. It's one of the most basic things we learn in biology as children. But that only shows us that each and every cell in our bodies need this tiny little organelle to survive. Let's add to that, the mitochondria has its own DNA, meaning that at some point in history, it was its own organism. But now, the cells and the mitochondria are inseparable. This is called endosymbiosis, where two organisms need each other to survive. And just like this concept is our relationship with the microbiome, the different species of bacteria that live within us. But not all bacteria are made equal. Some can be harmful to you, and some can be of great value. Well, actually, the amount of bacterial DNA in our bodies is 10 times greater than our own DNA. So, have you ever thought that maybe they play a big role in shaping who we are? They secrete a lot of chemicals that are absorbed into our bodies. You've probably heard of some of them, like dopamine, serotonin, and maybe some of you have heard of GABA. It's the chemical that calms you down. In the medical field, we treat anxiety by giving drugs that enhance GABA. The better GABA works, the less anxious you get. It's that simple. But these drugs could cause addiction and many other side effects. This seems counterintuitive, right? We start with one problem, then we end up with many others. Well, maybe some of you are thinking of something right now. Omar, we just agreed that some bacteria secrete GABA, so why don't we just find a way of increasing them? And this is what the scientists have been trying to do. There's this one study by, I'm sorry for butchering his name, by Venkat Rao. Venkat studied 39 individuals with chronic fatigue syndrome. It's a syndrome characterized by severe anxiety, depression, and long-term exhaustion. Well, these 39 individuals studied were split into two different groups. The first group received a bacterial strain for 2 months, while the other group received only a placebo, or a fake drug. And after 2 months, the group which received the bacterial strain showed significant decrease in anxiety with respect to the other group, which means the bacteria worked. Well, let's look at it from another area. Babies who are born through a C-section are more likely to have autism than babies born naturally. This could be because when the baby is born naturally, they are exposed or they encounter the first time the bacteria that's living outside of the uterus. So can you imagine that maybe, just maybe, these bacteria have been shaping who you are from the second you are born? Well, how did we find out all of this? Well, things are about to get a little disgusting here, but bear with me, please. We found out all of this through feces or poop. Over half a century ago, a team of surgeons decided to transplant some feces into an individual with a severe case of C. diff infection, which is a potentially fatal bacterial infection. And the rationale of this transplant was to tip the scales towards the good bacteria to win the war. And it worked, but through several experiments, we have found out that the mental health of the recipients has been changed. It has been changed to mimic that of the donor. They started experiencing similar mood patterns and even feeling more energetic if the donor was an energetic fellow. These findings have been life-changing, not to the psychiatric community, but they're foreshadowing that maybe the future of medicine isn't some weird pill, isn't some weird brain surgery, but it's the implementation of a healthier lifestyle. To empower your bacteria, to use them for your own benefit. The key here is fiber. Fibers aren't absorbed into your body, they aren't food for you, but in fact, the good bacteria in your body can be, can thrive on fiber. And the key here, is to change your diet by just adding a few simple changes, like adding some oatmeal, whole grains, onions, garlics, and leafy greens. These findings have been revolutionizing not only to the psychiatric community, but also to the neurodevelopmental community. And we are still looking at other mental diseases in which your microbiome can affect you. But so far, we can safely say that adding more fibers to your diet will change who you are and who you will become. So let's take care of the little hitchhikers living in and on us for the sake of our mental, physical, and emotional health. Thank you.